Hi there, Phil Simborg, USBGF Friendly Teaching Pro with a friendly checker play. One of my students sent this to me today and asked me about what I felt was the right play. Well, there's very little doubt here that you have to hit. It's 11 away, red's holding a 2 cube. If you don't hit, red's going to win this game a lot of the time. So the 6 is easy. You're hitting. Now the first question is, are you lifting it or are you leaving it there? Well, if you leave it there, you will get hit with a 1-6 about 90% of the time. That's exactly what most of my opponents say. They say they always get hit here. It never makes any sense to leave it. The guy always rolls a 1-6 when all of us know that he does roll a 1-6 only 2 rolls out of 36. There's 36 possible rolls, and there's a 6-1 and a 1-6 only 2 times, or 1 out of 18, and I don't care what they say. They only remember all the times they get hit, and they don't remember the times that they don't get hit with the 1-6. But whether they leave it or not, 1s are pretty good for red anyway. 1-2 hits, 1-1 hits and covers, 1-3 hits this checker, 1-4, 1-5, 1-6 comes out even if it doesn't hit. But if he doesn't roll a 1, where do you want to be in this game? You want to make this point. That's your best way to win. You're not going to lift this checker. So now the only question is, where's the 2? Well, you have 3 logical choices. You can play 12 to 10. I'll rule that out immediately, because now on the next roll, if he doesn't roll a 1, you're only going to cover with 3s and combinations of 3, when you can have 2 combinations by keeping them spread out. So the only other 2 plays that make sense are playing 10 to 8 or playing 6 to 4. Which one would you play and why? Okay, if you answered 6 to 4, you get a Cupid owl, because it's the right play. My student didn't understand why. So let's first of all ask the boss, Extreme Gammon, what the right play is. Let's put this in plus plus to get a higher rating. And plus plus says the right play is to play 6 to 4. Let me highlight it. That's the right play. Why is this better than 10-8, which was my student's play? Well, it's all math. Everything in backgammon boils down to math. Sometimes we can't figure the math. I sometimes just have to guess or estimate what my winning chances are, or my gammon chances are from a given position. And of course, those estimates become more intelligent the more I do it, and the more I practice it, the more I learn reference positions. And it isn't just guesswork. It becomes still math, but it's estimating. Here we can actually count to see which is the better play. After you move this 6 and you put red on the bar and you move this checker to here, and let's assume he doesn't roll a 1, which happens most of the time. He rolls a 1 11 times out of 36, 25 times he doesn't. Our goal is to cover this point. Of course, if we roll a 6, we want to get out of dodge, but we would love to cover this point. How many rolls cover the point? Well, all 3s, there's 11 3s, and all 5s. There's 11 5s, that's 22 numbers. However, when I counted the 11 3s, I had counted in there a 3-5 and a 5-3, so there's really only a combination of 20 numbers that cover from here or here. Is that it? Nope. You sharper students know that you can also cover with a double 1. So in addition to the 20 numbers you can cover with a double 1, that's 21 numbers. What else? How about a 3-2? A 3-2 covers, but you've already counted the 3s, so you can't add that to the 23 numbers we already have. But how about a 4-1? 4-1 is not counted in the 3s or the 5s. That adds 2 more numbers, a 4-1 and a 1-4. So we had 20 numbers, plus a double 1 is 21, plus a 4-1 is 23 numbers that cover this play. With this play, we cover with all 1s and 5s. That's 20 numbers. We also cover with a 3-2. That's 22 numbers. That's it. Nothing else. No other combinations. 4-1 is already counted in our 1s here. So there is one fewer way to cover here. And 1 out of 36 is about 2.78%. That's not a lot. It seems like this would be a fairly small error. But if you'll recall, it was close to a 4% error when I rolled it out, by the way. It was about a 4% error to make this play as opposed to this play. Well, both my student and I were a little surprised that the difference of one more cover would be a 4% error. Is there something else going on here? Is there another reason to make this play? Okay, we have to roll forward after his rolls and our rolls. We had counted these numbers on the assumption that he didn't roll a 1. What if he did roll a 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, or 1-5 and came in and hit us? Let's show that. Let's say he came in and hit, let's say, with a 1-2 and blues on the bar. Well, in this case, he comes in hitting with a 2, but he just comes in with any 1 or 2. And he has a chance, for example, if he rolls a 1-3 or a 1-5, to come in and make the prime. If he rolls a 2-3 or a 2-5, he comes in and he makes the prime. And if he rolls a double 1, he comes in and makes the prime. If you had the other play made, now his 1s are duplicated. In order to come in and make the prime, he has to roll a 1-5 or a 1-1. Far fewer numbers. Or a 2-1 or a 2-5, but he had the same amount of numbers if he rolled a 2 either way. But he's duplicated his 1s with this play. The result is this. Let's pretend that blue's on roll here. We don't know what his roll is going to be. Let's see what blue's odds are. Let's put the cube in the center so that blue could have access to the cube. What are blue's odds from this position of winning the game? 47.3%. But if we had made the other play, remember 47.3%. Now his odds should be higher. Higher than 47.3? Oh my gosh, they went all the way up to 50.25. He gained almost 3% because it's unduplicated. Because if he got hit, he has more chances to come in and make this point, because he's not using the 1 to cover and the 1 to come in. I didn't catch this when I first looked at it. I had to go deeper. But I've learned to go deeper just out of habit, out of practice. I've learned to carry through to my role and his role, not just his role. Before we were looking at what happens if he didn't roll a 6, but we also have to look at what happens if he does, if he didn't roll a 1, but what happens if he does roll the 1. So this is math, and there's more math involved, and there's more reasons involved than quickly meets the eye. This game takes more time, more study to get the right play. So the next time you're over the board and you have a simple play like this that isn't very complex on the surface, and you've got to really spend some time thinking about it, and your opponent screams at you, "Hey, this isn't chess, what's taking so long?" Your answer should be, "You're right, this isn't chess. This is harder than chess. I've got a lot more to think about than you can ever imagine. So leave me alone and let me have my time. There's a timer, that's my problem. I can take as much time as I want because I'm on a clock. And if it's not on the clock, sometimes you got to spend more time." If you are playing online, on Grid Gammon, Safe Harbor, Yahoo, all these many fine sites that you can play on, Gammon site, there's a lot of great sites, NetGammon. Most of the time, if you take quite a while against your opponent, he's going to get impatient. If he doesn't drop or doesn't swear at you, you're lucky. And that's why, if you really want to play this game right, and if you really want to understand the game, don't waste your time playing other people. Save that for major matches and tournaments. Play against Extreme Gammon and really dig deep. By the way, the more you do this, the faster you will be able to make the right plays, because you're going to see these things more readily. It's almost a knee-jerk reaction to know that the other play is better, because you get more ways to cover, and you get more ways to cover and respond if you get hit. So these are the kind of plays. This is why great players can play speed gammon at a very, very high level of play because they've taken the time to go very, very slow and learn the basics. Hope this helps. Stay tuned for updates from San Antonio. Stay tuned for my wonderful, exciting lecture that I'll be giving podcast simulcast with Mochi. Not a bad assistant, but with Mochi helping me and maybe some other really top guest stars who are going to be at this tournament who will be attending the lecture and the tournament as well this weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.